Hey guys, for today's tips and tricks video, I wanted to talk about how to play an anti-eco. So a lot of teams and players specifically don't know how to handle playing against an eco round. So for example, you win the first round, the pistol round, and then you go into the next round and your opponent's on an eco round. How do you play against that? And I'm going to use Inferno today for this example and just talk about things that you can do and things that you want to try to avoid to maximize your success. And remember, these are only guidelines and pointers which will basically maximize your safety, and the safer you are, generally speaking, the less risk of allowing your opponent to capitalize off of a mistake. So the best way for a team to win their eco rounds is to capitalize off your mistake, grab some weapons based off of some stranded players. So you want to do the opposite of what you would do as if you were on an eco. So I'll approach it from the terror side first. First things first, what you want to do is you want to keep your distance, okay? It's going to be the same thing for both sides. You want to keep your distance. Generally speaking, you're going to have a big weapon. Maybe it be an AK, maybe it's a MAC-10. But generally speaking, you want to keep your distance. You want to make sure that you're playing with a distance with your AK, so that if the enemy is peeking you with pistols, then you're able to kill them because they have pistols at long range, most likely a P250, USP, 5.7, potentially a deagle, okay? So keeping your distance means that you're going to want to try to fight back mid. Middle here is pretty long range here, and again, over at arch side and then wrapping, this is all long distance fights. Same thing if you come at port side. This, you get into a closer range and you risk walking into a crossfire or a stack. So going up lane side isn't the greatest, but you can still do it depending on how you work the picks. Going up arch side, generally speaking, is great, especially if you do some smokes into key positions. When you wrap around, you keep the distance yet again, and you keep long distance fights the entire way through. Going banana as well is also something that can be kind of risky, but if you do it a proper way, if you do it methodically, then it can be very strong. So a way that you can clear out banana, for example, is to simply just do a smoke for CT spawn, and then because you want to make sure that if you're running into a stack, you only give up minimal casualties and minimal weapons, what you'll do is you'll use someone who uses, maybe it's a Tech 9, maybe they have a MAC-10, you're going to use this person as a scouter. So you're going to sacrifice this player so that he can get the information required for you guys to make a play. So you're going to have the smoke on CT spawn, and you're going to have a couple of people supporting a scouter. So the person who's scouting in will, I'll give myself a MAC-10. Give MAC-10. Give weapon MAC. Give weapon MAC-10. Okay. So dude with MAC-10, spawn is smoked. He's not going to worry about the right side at all, okay? His teammates are going to throw flashes for him, and maybe a Molotov in the bomb site, and his teammates are going to post up long range. So one person's going to be sitting here, like this, holding for a person to run through spawn. Another guy's going to come over here and just sit here, waiting for some guy to peek from spools, okay? Just setting up, making sure that this MAC-10 player needs to just focus on one thing only, and that's just to scout the site and get information. So, again, with the smoke up on CT spawn, dude's going to run in, spawn smoked, his teammate's holding for the spawn run through, another team is watching for spools. He's going to come in and he's going to just jump around and make himself as hard a target to hit while he clears out oranges, second oranges, jumps around here, and just clears out everything, okay? If this guy says it's a bomb site stack, if they're stacked in the bomb site, let's say they're playing oranges, second oranges, tri-box, spools, wherever, and it's a stack with like 3 or 4 people, you're going to want to give him space to make the plays, make the kills, but you want to make sure that you don't run into that stack. If you know there's 4 or 5 people here, then you can just say, you know what, this guy, he's sacrificed, he just needs to stay alive as long as possible, do as much damage as long as possible, and he can use this positioning here to stay alive for a really long time and maybe get some kills. While he's doing this, he's keeping the enemies here so that you guys can double back with the bomb all the way back to A. It's important to note, when you're doing this, when you're scouting banana, you need to make sure that you have someone who's playing and maintaining control of middle so that you guys can come back up middle, no problem. This spot in Romeo is a really good position. I call this Romeo because Romeo's shouting out to Juliet up on the balk. So this is a position that's really strong because you can see the mid push, holes push through the window, and the long holes push all at the same time. And if you need to double back, this guy's in a really good position, listening for noise, listening for rotations, and then you guys can come straight back up mid, smoke off the left side, and then send one guy in first, just jump around, find out where this player is, and then you guys will get the trade kill off of him. The alternative scenarios that could happen over here is that this player runs in and he sees that there's only one or no people here. And he says, well, the bomb site's clear, come in, come in. And then everyone comes to the bomb site, you plant the bomb, everyone's happy. The third situation is there's no stack, but the bomb site's not clear, it's just a couple of people holding it like a standard round, and then you will try to go in and get the picks. In that situation, it's okay for you to start moving up with your AKs and keep your distance, put your back against the wall, and remember, isolate the angles just like you would in any other normal round. Back against this wall and look for anyone who's coming into the bomb site. Back against this wall and look for anyone to rotate through spawn or peek from spawn. Simple, methodical ways to clear the bomb site. Safe, yet effective. I haven't really talked much about the apartments here. Apartments is, generally speaking, a death trap. I like to avoid it if at all possible, but sometimes it is okay to come in here as long as you do it, again, methodically. So you don't want to just run in here by yourself, have one guy just running up and clearing things on his own while someone else is jumping up still. You don't want to do it that way. What you'll want to do is you'll want to have two people coming towards Romeo near the steps. One person can at the start of the round spam out the wood planks. He can come and now do a Molotov. So this is a great Molotov to utilize for the bedroom. So with this Molotov, no one in the bedroom is going to be able to stay alive. You have two people sit here, wait for the duration of the Molotov if you'd like. It's only 7 seconds. Usually you can start moving up after 4 or 5 seconds because someone who's in there should be dead by then. And then you'll have one person just post here, one person will jump across, and as that guy's jumping across, you have another guy clear the halls. This is a methodical way of clearing the apartments, which is a little bit safer, but generally speaking, you're putting yourself in a position where you can get killed by a random stack that's happening here. For example, you can have a player in boiler steps waiting here for a person back here to make contact. Maybe this guy is in the bedroom and when the Molotov comes he flies out and he can get close range. Remember, you want to keep your distance. Even though he's on fire and he's running out of here, he might be able to get a lucky kill on you because he's got a 5.7 or P250 and it's close enough where one bullet to your head is going to kill you. So I like to, generally speaking, avoid apartments, but some situations it's okay. I like going middle, I like keeping the distance, I like wrapping through arch, and I like scouting through B. Those are all good ways that you can methodically clear eco stacks and take the bomb site in a safe manner. So, general concepts: scouting, sending one person in as a sacrifice, generally speaking with either a pistol or an SMG, where if he dies, it's not a big problem. Your information gathering, you're seeing if it's safe to go to a certain area, but also if you die, you're only losing an invaluable weapon, a weapon that's not going to really make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. 2, you're keeping the distance, you're playing long-range battles, such as coming up middle, throwing a Molotov into cubby, and then clearing it up this way slowly. And the third thing you want to also do is you want to make sure that wherever you guys are going, you need to make sure that someone's sitting in a position like a turret, just sitting there, waiting for an enemy to push through. You have to understand that when your opponent's on eco round, they want to get up close in your face and personal, and they're going to do heavy rotations. They're going to make really random plays like pushing through smokes, pop flashes, and they're going to try to swarm you. So what you want to do is, if you're going up arch side, for example, and you're doing this smoke here and this smoke for library, and wrapping a few people, you'll want to keep one person in the cubby or around this area so that he can control anybody who's pushing through these smoke grenades. If someone's pushing through, this guy's going to deal with it, or at least get the call out so that you guys can turn around and not get flanked while he needs to back off. So anytime you're going to a certain area, whether it's arch here, or if you're going to banana, you want to make sure that one person's holding for people to run through smokes. And this is something that you should utilize also on gun rounds, but it's a pretty good thing to do against eco rounds and very necessary because on gun rounds you can usually know exactly where and how many opponents are going to be in a certain area. But on an eco round, or when your opponent's on eco round rather, you need to be aware and ready for anything at any time because they could do 5-man stacks and take big, huge gambles. And if you don't have someone watching this, and if you don't have someone watching this, then it can turn really bad for you. So I've talked a lot about the terrace side. I want to talk briefly about CT side, what you can do if you're against an eco, and it's going to basically be the same thing. You don't want to get too close, so keep your distance. If you're going to play arch side, for example, you'll want to be able to back off. As soon as you make contact, you're going to want to back off and slow them down, using Molotovs, and then get into good positions where you have some cover. You can dance around and make sure that they waste all their pistol bullets. Remember, pistols shoot slowly, and they have limited ammo capacity, so if you dance around objects like this, and you make it yourself a hard target to hit, especially your head, then you're going to be able to last a longer time, wait for rotations, wait for support, but also you're going to be able to get more bullets off just by spraying and just spamming your gun. Beyond that, you'll want to, especially if you're opping, be as far back as possible. The better weapon you have, the more your enemy wants it. So if you're putting yourself in a position where you can get overrun and the opponents can get your gun, it's a bad situation. If you're alone at arch side with an op, you don't want to sit here, peek, take a shot, fall back, and then come and peek again, just like this. You don't want to sit here and try to fight and then pull out your pistol and try to fight more. You want to take that shot and get the hell out of there instantly. Take another angle, maybe back here, take a shot, and then get out of there. And then try to just get anywhere where your teammates are now saying, oh shit, they can wrap you. Here, I'm going to come and support you now. And they come over here and they start shooting people in the back. Again, you don't want to be in that situation to begin with. Generally speaking, playing up here, unless your teammates are doing like a bait setup with you, playing in the cubby or a couple people at port side, generally speaking, if you're opping, information is okay, but I'd just be back here with an op, just sitting back here, or at moto, where if they start pushing me, I can just fall back into the bomb site. Give the enemy CT spawn. They can go CT spawn to be in this situation. Why? Keep your distance. If you're back here shooting people with pistols and you have a rifle, you're going to win this battle 10 out of 10 times. There's no way that they're going to win that. So keep your distance, play far back, and play together. So I haven't spoken about playing together. You don't want to do a hero play. You don't want to have one person arch side, one person port side, one person watching hulls. This could work if your enemy doesn't do something together or organized or methodically, but it makes your team and your setup more vulnerable or susceptible to losing. So if you get this information that they're coming at mid, back off instantly. Play the crossfire with your teammates, have one guy pit or balcony and another guy in the bomb site, and you can do crossfires and you can control the choke points. If you have two people watching this choke point now instead of just one person holding for this choke point, then it's a lot stronger. The enemy has to come up and watching two places at once while you guys can take pop shots off at the enemies, peek around this corner, take a shot, hide for a second, re-peek this angle, hide for a few seconds, only just hold this and wait for people to push up on you. It makes the enemy think and guess which side you're going to peek from, and when they're indecisive, looking left, right, left, right, left, right, they don't know what to do, it's going to be an easier target for you to kill. It's going to be a harder target for them to kill you because they don't know where to look for you, and they're flicking back and forth between you at the site and you at the pit. So crossfires are really strong in these situations against ecos. So with those guidelines, keep your distance, play together, utilize scouting for information with poor weapon, like bad weapons. Other things that you can try doing is if you know that the enemy is going to be on eco and you don't think they're going to buy armor, what you could do is you can, on CT side, you can buy an SMG, especially if you're trying to save for an op. You can get an SMG and then you can try to farm on people. Play close range. If you have an SMG, it's okay to play on the balcony like this because they're coming through a choke point and you have your team to support you. There's a lot of angles for the terrorists to clear out. They have all of bomb site, graveyard, pit, and balcony to clear out. So there's a lot of angles that they have to clear out, as opposed to, just coming in here and just clearing out bedroom or this angle. 2 angles, not a lot. But here, there's a lot of angles that you have to clear out. So playing up close in this situation is okay. Playing up close in the apartments isn't okay because there's limited angles and crossfires that you can set up. Anyways, I hope these guidelines help you guys out. And if it does, remember to subscribe. I'll do more videos like this. Peace.